Here's part 2 of the XJ-S IRS removal video, and as you can see, spoiler alert, it is out. Surprisingly easy actually in the end. This is a sort of job that I wasn't looking forward to, or at least was a bit daunted by, and yeah, it was not too much trouble. The handbrake assembly came apart really easily, so I didn't need to use any leaves or anything to get the cable out. This end, the little bullet came out there and just pulled it back and slotted it out through that slot you can see there, the cable. So that's still in the car. That's where it comes across the top. The outer comes across the top into there. I cut the brake flexible cable and I've clamped it with some mole grips. You'll see in a minute or two. Couldn't see any point in doing anything else really. It's quite there's not much space to work, and you might as well cut it. It's going to be replaced anyway. I've got a new one of those, so no point saving it. Overall, it's actually not in bad nick here. The brake discs, as I think I showed you before, are knackered. The calipers are, I think, probably quite seized. There's a bit of meat left on those pads, but new pads obviously, and new discs and new calipers actually going on. New handbrake pads too. No oil leak at the back of my diff, which is good news. And no serious rust anywhere on this cage. This is going to get dismantled, blasted and recoated. I think probably PR15, maybe powder coated. We'll see. Let's see what the decision is. I couldn't get the exhaust undone, so they've actually come out with the subframe, with the rear subframe. Tried to get one of these clamps undone, but there was just no way that was going to come out with it on the car, not without some heat and a lot of effort. So I thought, well, why bother to get them out together. I got the speedo sensor out by undoing this bottom plate. Amazingly, all of these nuts and bolts, well, the nuts and bolts at the ends and the 6 nuts that go into these bits here, they all came out with no trouble at all. So I just moved the plate aside, reached up and undid these 10mm bolts. I'll stick something in there shortly to stop any dirt ingress. Still some original labels and things on the diff. And it's not too bad really, the condition of it all. It just wants a clean and service parts replaced. You can go back together again after it's been redone. Under the car, let's have a quick look at that. So I lowered the IRS down on my trolley jack with this little dolly at one side, and that was actually enough to hold it level, and it came down without any trouble at all. Under here, let's have a quick shifty. I've not actually looked yet. I guess that's on the asbestos shielding there. You can see where the brake discs have flung lining, which is fine. There's your handbrake cable. There's the end of it, and the other bit that goes in the arms. So exhaust is still in. I need to get actually the anti-roll bar will just come out now. Famous last words, but it should do. Yep, there we go. That will come out, and that's another thing to get refurbed. Oh, that's handy. It's go out nicely, and I'll obviously get new bushes for that as well. I've bagged up my my ABS sensors so they can just sit there. I'll probably put them on a block or something to keep them off the floor in case it gets wet in here. And there's again, I'll stick that in a bag shortly. That's the speedo sensor from the diff. And there's the brake line that was cut. Not a lot to say about that really. I'll get a new one in there pretty damn quick. And so there we go. Part 2 ends with a successful removal without too many swear words and no injuries, which is good. So part 3 will commence shortly, and that will be stripping it down. I'll speak to you soon.